Good afternoon, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. If you could take a seat whenever you get a minute, wherever you can find one, go ahead and take your seats, please. We're going to go ahead and get started. I hope everybody has had lunch already. There is no food in the room and we don't have any. Just FYI. This is not that type of event. Well, good afternoon. So let me just make a couple of remarks here. This is the first time that we are doing this since 2019, since before the pandemic. And we are officially post-pandemic now. So for those who don't know me, that deserves a round of applause. We are officially post-pandemic at this point. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a nobody around here. I'm Kedron Gwynn, Executive Vice President in the President's Office here at Downstate. I am delighted to have us here in person for this event where we are celebrating all of you, all of the service that you have given to this institution. This is the first time that we're doing this. Please don't say first annual. There is no such thing. This is the first time we're doing this. This is going to be the Chancellor's Awards. It's also the Years of Service Awards. And then a new award, which is the Resiliency Award, which you will hear a lot more about as the program goes on. But I want to bring up the President now, President Riley, to give some remarks and just welcome us to this first event.
Good afternoon. Delighted that all of you are...
You have your mic on, so
yes.
Step away from that.
Delighted that all of you are here for this very special event that we've been working on for quite some time. And as Dr. Gwynn already teed up, we couldn't do this for a couple years. And much to our disappointment that we couldn't. Because one of the things that, as you know, I've tried to do since coming here is to make sure we're recognizing all the great work that's happening, not in the President's office, but across the institution. And each of you have contributed to what we've been able to achieve over the past 3 years in particular, dealing with the pandemic, dealing with lots of issues. And again, I think that just highlights what this new award that we created will hopefully recognize, the resiliency of the downstate community to deal with just about any situation is nothing short of amazing. So let's give each of us a round of applause on that. So to get us going, I'm going to ask our Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Pascal James Imperato, to come forward and to begin our sort of award ceremony with the Chancellor's Awards. Dr. Imperato.
Thank you, Dr. Riley. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. The Chancellor's Awards are among the highest awards that are conferred by the State University of New York. They are approved at a campus level. They are recommended to the SUNY Provost in Albany. They are passed on to the Chancellor's Office, presented to the Board of Trustees, approved, sent back to the Chancellor, and then the individual campus is informed. Now you can see why when we process certain paperwork here on our campus and throughout the SUNY system, it's a multi-tiered level, and this certainly is one. So the people who are selected are outstanding. The Chancellor's Awards for Excellence in the Classified Service are system awards established by the university to give system-wide recognition for superior performance and extraordinary achievements to employees in the classified service. The awardees for 2020 are Donna Handley, Donna Hanley is not here. We accept it on. You're here. Oh, okay. Come on up. Verna Joseph. We accept the award on behalf of Verna Joseph. Karen King. We accept the award on behalf of Karen King. For the year 2021, Stanley Augustin. We accept the award on behalf of Stanley Augustin. Hardy Dinham. Diane Zarb. For the year 2022, Royan Dandrade. Mira Rima Palapos. Maravik Padilla. For the year 2023, Francis Hercules. Diana Pataki. Tashiana Sidarkina. Okay, I'll call him up. For the year 2021, Stanley Augustine. The Chancellor's Awards for Excellence in Professional Service, Excellence in Faculty Service, and Excellence in Teaching are SUNY System Honors conferred to acknowledge and provide system-wide. You want me to make me sound louder?
Yes.
Okay, you're the boss. And provide system-wide recognition for consistently superior professional achievements and to encourage the ongoing pursuit of excellence. Chancellor's Awards for Excellence in Professional Service for 2020 are awarded to Cheryl Marriott. for 2023 to Doreen Cooper. Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Faculty Service for 2021 is awarded to Dr. Jasmine Thomas. Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching is awarded to Dr. Vikram Pagpatan. The distinguished professorship is conferred upon faculty having achieved national or international prominence and a distinguished reputation within a chosen field through significant research and scholarship. Distinguished professorship is conferred upon, for the year 2020, Dr. Shen Cheng Jiang. Distinguished Professorship for 2020 is awarded to Dr. Cheryl Smith, who cannot be with us here today, and so we accept it on her behalf. This concludes the awarding of the Chancellor's Awards. Let's have a round of applause for all of these recipients. Thank you. I now wish to pass the microphone over to Dr. Gwynn.
Congratulations to all of our award winners. That is phenomenal. I see the excitement. It's phenomenal to see that again in person. let me say a word about the next award, which is our Years of Service Award. Now, I happen to be the bearer of bad news, but yet good news. We are recognizing everyone who has achieved a milestone every 5th year. So starting with year 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and we stop there. And we stop there. We do understand there are folk who have achieved years beyond 50, which is excellent. We applaud you. We also understand that some of you have already been awarded some of these lovely gifts. So we will award you again at 60. And we look forward to doing that. However, today, because there were more than 1,700 people, because there were more than 1,700 people at Downstate who had achieved more than 10 years. We could not. We simply could not call out 1,700 names.
Get home Sunday morning if we did that.
Yes. However, each person who has received at least 10 years will receive a certificate in a very nice fancy folder. A very nice fancy gold-sealed folder. Seriously, a really big deal. I was almost about to use my Biden words. A seriously big deal. The folder is really nice. We went all out because we understand, you know, some of you may, and again, I want to say this also, some of you may get 10 years understanding that you've been here 12 years. Again, it's not that we're not recognizing the years of service. We want to mark your milestone. And because it's 2023, we haven't done this since 2019. We want to make sure we recognize those years that we missed. So everyone will get a certificate for years of service, again, starting with 10, 15, so on and so forth. But today, we want to honor those people. We want to honor all of you, but we're going to publicly honor those who've earned at least 40 years. At least 40 years. But before we get to that, I want everyone who has earned at least, or who has been here at least 10 years, to please stand. At least 10 years. Wow. I should be seated because I'm actually shy of the 10 years. This is remarkable. Please just remain standing and give yourselves a round of applause. That is absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So I'm going to call up a member of the HR staff, that would be Adriana Conde, who is going to call the names of those having earned at least 40 years of service. If you will notice, we have a nice crystal vase. And I use the word crystal. I did not say a glass vase. It is a crystal vase. If it's glass, it's a vase. Yeah. So, Adriana.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your years of service. I myself have been here for 36 years, so I can join you. Didn't make it to the vase. Okay, for 40 years of service, thank you for your service, Mr. Anse Ansah. Please come up. There There. Thank you. "40 years of service, Rhonda Basunder." Thank you for your service. We will get that vest to her. Marilou Bugarin. Yay! Dr. James Cottrell. Yoshila Crandall. Ozgul Dalali. Desiree Del Val. Andrew the Norfield. Stephen Friedman. Fern Gates. Dr. Stanley Gordon. Dr. Margaret Hammerschlag. Charles Harewood. John Hartung. Alan Jones. Betty Young. Christopher Lang. Harold Levovitz. Paul Maccabee. Laura Mandel. Howard Minkoff. Man O. Hugh Peter. Hasib Siddiqui. Ramaswamy Vinwa Nathan. And now for those who have served more than 45 years. Tony Alawalia. Brian and Siska. Leon Bradley. Joanne Crackle. Dr. Eva Kramer. Richard Feynman. Stephen Fox. Dr. Pascal Imperato. Wei Lee.
Thank you.
Dr. Sarah Marshall. Bernice Porges. T. Rao. Annette Siegel. And now for people who have served for over 50 years.
Now, just a word on that. If you notice, we're not going to give them the crystal. We're not going to give them the crystal. We're actually going to give them the chair. I don't mean it that way. I want to be clear that the chair is symbolic of that milestone. It's a golden anniversary. So the chair is symbolic of that. I see your minds in the wrong places. This is the chair. I don't want to go around the table, but the chair is engraved with their names on it, their years of service. I can turn this one around so you can see it. So, but it has all of the latest and greatest downstate insignia. So we want to make sure they are represented, the chair is representative of their service to downstate, as well as, giving them something really, 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 really nice. And if you want to leave it here, by all means, I have a spot in my office. So, Adriana.
Ellen Ginsler. Bobby Holland. Francisca Velstack. And as Dr. Gwynn said, we do have someone who has 55 years plus of service, Dr. Stanley Friedman. Thank you for your service, everyone.
Wow, that is amazing. All the 40 and above. Let's give all the awardees a round of applause one more time.
One additional thing, the little pen, remember the pens that you used to get for years of service? You will also get those, so just FYI. I didn't want you to think you were being cheated, so those will come as well. We're gonna set up a table or what have you, not here, not today. We're gonna set up a table so you can collect your certificate that has your actual years of service on it. Only this year are we doing actual years of service. That's intentional because, again, we missed so many years. We decided we're going to do actual years of service. That folder that we talked about, you're going to collect that beautiful folder with the gold seal on it and your pen. Now is, the time for us to introduce the latest award, our newest award, I should say, the Resiliency Award. And Heidi Aaronen, our Senior Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer, will tell us all about that award.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Beginning in 2020 and for the next 2+ years, I had the honor of working behind the scenes with a dedicated group of 50 or so people as chair of Downstate's Back to New Normal committee. Throughout the pandemic, this group worked tirelessly to identify and meet resource needs, develop policies and procedures, and communicate with the entire campus to deal with changing needs and challenges resulting from the COVID pandemic. Distribution of supplies, establishing work schedules on and off campus, restructuring campus spaces, ensuring that the campus community met vaccine mandates, helping to transition to remote work and study, all were subjects discussed and addressed by this group. During the course of this work, we got to see firsthand the extraordinary efforts of our clinicians, our staff, our faculty, and students to ensure that the campus would continue to care for patients, train future professionals, and conduct research under challenging conditions. These efforts were not limited to our dedicated clinicians and students who provide direct care and faculty who continue to teach and train, but also included those who provided critical support functions throughout the campus, enabling the mission-critical work to continue. In part as a result of these efforts, we identified both a need and a desire not only to recognize the incredible work provided by the campus community, but also to reward the characteristics and approaches that enabled that work to succeed. This desire led to the development of the Resiliency Awards that we are initiating today. A subcommittee of the Back to New Normal Committee, led by Dr. Ren Lester, Sharon Seeley, and Keisha Lightbourne, identified 4 categories in which awards will be provided to both employees and students. Individual awards in the categories of advocate, innovator, and leader, and team awards representing synergists. We invited nominations and got an enthusiastic response. The selection committee of 16 people reviewed more than 100 nominations, 88 individuals and 24 teams comprising 200 people, all capable and inspiring community members. After careful review, the committee selected 10 individuals and 3 teams to receive the awards. We are here today to honor those people and to tell you about them. This is the first time we're giving out these awards, but it will not be the last. We look forward to recognizing staff, faculty, and students who demonstrate these characteristics of resiliency in their work regularly going forward. I'm going to ask Keisha Lightbourne to join me, and she's going to tell you about the individuals, which we'll do category by category. The first category in which we're recognizing people from the downstate community is the advocate. An advocate is a person who is focused on positive customer-centered outcomes and is providing people who've provided independent support to those they feel may not be heard. Keisha will tell you about the 4 people in that category.
Good afternoon. Our first advocate is Trudy Johnson. Ms. Trudy Johnson is a continual advocate for downstate staff and patients. It doesn't matter if the issue is professional or personal, she goes above and beyond for her community. She is always ready to help a respiratory therapist advocate for their patients, and she regularly helps residents understand various therapy options. As she's been heard to say many times, I live here. What we do here matters. Ms. Trudy Johnson from the Respiratory Therapy Department. Where is she? We will wait for her to come up. Nope, okay. Sorry. This place is big, I don't know everybody. Dr. Farhad Hayeri was, when the pandemic started in March of 2020, the physical therapy program was just a few days before their midterm exams. Dr. Harry quickly implemented a special browser so that students could take their exams at home, and he disseminated the information to his colleagues so they could do the same. He adjusted the schedule of courses, flipping a fall course to a summer, and taught lab sessions on weekends for classes missed while we were on lockdown. Dr. Harry recorded his classes for the students who could not attend sessions due to exposure to COVID or other illnesses. He also shared the instructions with the rest of the PT faculty to utilize for their classes. Throughout all of these changes to the curriculum, Dr. Harry still kept up with all of his other duties. Dr. Farhad Harry. So this is unique because we're also recognizing students, and our first student is Grace Shadid from the College of Medicine. She's a second year. Great. Grace Shadid is currently a second-year medical student who has been a key member of the Patient Navigator program in the Rheumatology Division in the Department of Medicine. During the summer of 2022, Grace received an award from the New York Academy of Medicine to evaluate food insecurity among downstate patients in the Navigator program. Finding a high degree of food insecurity among the patients, Grace is now in the process of enrolling them in highly specialized food services with the organization God's Love, We Deliver. Grace Shadid exemplifies all the qualities of a successful advocate. She is empathetic, always willing to find an innovative way to help both patients and other caregivers and to put them before herself. Grace Shadid. Another student, Joya Ahmad from the College of Medicine. She's a second-year medical student. She inspires others by leveraging her talents and skills to create a more fair and just future. She has worked extensively with Foundation's faculty to review materials, to update language of identity, and to purge bias and stereotyping from case vignettes. Joya is a leader of the health equity pathway known as HEAL, or Health Equity Advocacy Leadership, in which she has developed and led new sessions on the social determinants of health through the lens of physical disabilities and lupus. She also led and organized the Sex and Medicine Week series of clinical and professional development skills in the Student Center. She's a national leader as a course director for a scholars program on transgender health at the American Medical Student Association. She has also published studies on food insecurity. Ms. Joya Ahmad.
Congratulations to all of the advocates. The second group of awards are to innovators. Innovators develop and enhance work processes or products to create efficiencies and improve effectiveness. They are characterized by positive adaptation to adversity and not being defeated by challenges. Keisha will introduce you to the two individuals receiving this award.
The first is Miss Edeline Mitten. She's unable to attend because she's at a conference, but I want to tell you about her. Ms. Mitten took the initiative during the COVID-19 pandemic and helped many clinical departments to pivot their grand rounds to an online version. She repurposed the many steps needed to obtain CME credits by streamlining the process. It was not just a matter of getting a Zoom link, but using links to initiate the evaluation process and a QR code for attendance. She also held webinars for all the department coordinators so she could walk them through the process step by step. Because of her initiative, many departments have increased their attendance and reached many communities. They were able to share how Downstate went through the pandemic, shared clinical experiences that were transformational to other organizations. I accept this award on her behalf since she's away at a conference today. Dr. Lorraine Antoine. In late March 2020, the third-year physical therapy students had to leave their final clinical rotation due to the pandemic. Dr. Lorraine Antoine, the PT program's Director of Clinical Education, had to determine what could be done to ensure that the class could graduate on time. So Dr. Antoine worked with the faculty to develop complex clinical cases that they did with the students so they could complete clinical education virtually. This enabled the class of 2020 to graduate on time. Then she did it again. The next year, she worked with the PT program chair to temporarily change the clinical education curriculum to account for the lockdown, enabling the class of 2021 to also graduate on time. These changes are significant because there were very few PT programs across the country that were able to graduate their students on time due to the pandemic. Dr. Lorraine Antoine.
Congratulations to our innovators. The third group of awards are to people recognized as leaders. Leaders are people who advocate for resources to meet critical needs, mentor peers and staff, participate in decision-making, and commit to professional development. Keisha will tell you about the 4 people being congratulated on their work as leaders in the last several years.
Susan Frazier McCleary. You have quite a fan club. Susan, I want to tell you about her. Come on. There's so much to say, but I have such a brief amount of time, so I tried to condense this. Susan Frazier McCleary is a team player who assists her team members when needed. She encourages growth and promotes from within. Mrs. Frazier McCleary is committed to the community in which she grew up, to the patients that she treats like family, and to Downstate. She worked during the height of COVID by establishing and staffing an emergency clinic, which was used to screen and treat COVID-positive patients. She also helped run all the screeners to help us get back to work. She kept up with daily CDC changes. Mrs. Frazier McCleary worked side by side with her team to ensure that every patient was treated with dignity and respect while being screened for COVID, which was not easy. She comforted family members whose loved ones transitioned alone. She coordinated care with the patient's family members, caregivers, and physicians. On many occasions, she was seen wheeling patients from one location to the next. Susan Frazier McCleary. Dr. Jeffrey S. Putman. During the pandemic, Dr. Putman was consistently in person, handling every problem that came his way. He managed the Department of Student Affairs, which through a combination of in-person and virtual work, handled admissions, registration, financial aid, and counseling during one of the most difficult times in downstate history. Students were able to have some semblance of normalcy with orientation and classes continuing. Downstate was able to minimize decreases in enrollment that many other SUNY schools were not able to maintain. Dr. Jeffrey Putman. Dr. Sanya Goswami. She's one of our residents. Dr. Goswami exemplifies numerous characteristics that show her leadership qualities such as integrity, humility, appreciation, and growth. As a mentor, she made sure her medical student was engaged and involved in patient discussions, presentations, assessments, and plan of care development. Dr. Goswami constantly observed and asked whether the medical student was comfortable and assigned not only tasks that were within their capabilities, but also tasks that pushed them to grow as a student. Anytime students had a question or was uncertain of how to proceed with things like IV placement or blood draw, Dr. Goswami would take the time to answer their questions and teach proper techniques. Dr. Sanya Goswami. Gabrielle Cabariti was a College of Medicine fourth year, has worked with fellow medical students to make them comfortable with research. He took time out of his day while studying for Step 2, which is a big series of exams, to show fellow students the ropes on how to become a better researcher. He has taught fellow students how to think as a clinician and as one trying to advance clinical outcomes through the methods of research. His methods, insights into topics, and mentorship are those that cannot be replicated. His humility and gratitude were inspiring, to say the least, and created a much better learning environment for everyone on the team. Gabrielle Cabariti. I should say Dr. Gabrielle Cabariti, since he just graduated.
Congratulations to all of our leaders. The final group of awards go to synergists, teams of people who work cooperatively with other departments or with those with whom they do not routinely work to accomplish a shared goal that serves the greater good. Keisha will tell you about the 3 teams that are being recognized today.
So the first team is the Clinical Applications team from the Information Services Department. It's a team of 24 people. The Clinical Applications team is a true example of a team that encompasses the organization's values. Although the team is small in numbers, they continue to work tirelessly together beyond regular hours, including nights and weekends, to ensure that the hospital was prepared for the pandemic. Some of the team members worked despite having COVID themselves and losing family members. Of course, that wasn't required. Some of the team members worked on-site during the entire pandemic to ensure that no interruption in mission-critical applications occurred. Lastly, the team was instrumental in deploying Amazon tablets and Echo Show devices, which allowed the nurses to communicate and visualize their patients without entering the patient room. The devices decreased the nurses' exposure to COVID, and some patients were able to use the devices to listen to music, aiding in the healing process. Can members of the Clinical Applications team please stand? There you guys. Unfortunately, they couldn't all be here because they're working on some emergencies. Next is the COVID vaccination team. This is a team of over 111 people across Downstate. The COVID vaccination team helped to ensure that Downstate employees and students were some of the first to receive the newly minted COVID vaccine. The team went for CDC training to learn about the guidelines, best practices for patient safety, and vaccine effectiveness. The team worked together to help employees, students, and patients mitigate fears about the COVID vaccine through on-site education and providing reading materials. The COVID vaccination team was able to transmit information to plan and implement pop-up COVID vaccination clinics within a few days of the pharmacy receiving shipments of vaccines. Just to give you an idea of how cross-functional this team was, the team consisted of site managers, pre-entrance screeners for temperature checks and ID cards, Eagle registration, security to assist with crowd control, nursing screening stations and vaccinators, patient educators, COVID vaccine inventory and storage managers from pharmacy, messengers to replenish supplies, data input management by nursing, post-vaccination observation by clinical staff for anyone experiencing adverse reactions, bottled water supplied by Sodexo Catering, as well as language interpreters. Can members of the COVID vaccination team please stand? I also want to say there were a good number of students on this team as well, from a lot of the clinical schools. Thank you very much for your service. And last but not least, the Contact Tracing Core and COVID testing team. The team, largely composed of students, met every day to assess the flow of communication within the team and across other departments in order to fine-tune procedures to provide the highest level of care to the downstate community and make evidence-based decisions to control the spread of COVID-19. This team has shown extraordinary perseverance in reaching out to persons who had been exposed to the virus in order to persuade them to safeguard themselves and their families. The team served all downstate students across the 5 schools as well as employees. The team also successfully communicated with employee student health and other departments and schools by communicating risks, isolating infected, and quarantining exposed individuals, all while maintaining confidentiality. While their work began at the height of the pandemic, the team continued to serve the downstate community until recently by minimizing the spread of COVID. Can members of the Contact Tracing Core and COVID testing team please stand?
Again, we'd like to congratulate all of the winners in all of the categories, and we look forward to continuing this and making this an ongoing downstate tradition. Thank you very much.
Let's give Ms. Aronin and Ms. Lightbourne another round of applause. Great work with our Back to New Normal task force that came up with this great idea of the Resiliency Awards. Because I tell you, this great place and all of you great people have really shown a lot of grit and determination over the past 3 years that I think we all should be proud of. Well, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, what a great day at Downstate. We got to thank each one of us. Remember, sometimes we don't use those 2 magic words enough around here. Thank you. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do for our students, our community, for Brooklyn, for New York City, for the country, and indeed the world. So congratulations, and we have a little refreshments outside, and we look forward to seeing you next year for the next iteration. Take care.